You can imagine I read and read and read everything there is about AI. And one of the things is that the hallucinations, the mistakes that AI is making, those are going to be with us for a long time on generative AI, if not forever. And so you need people working with the AI that have that sense of this answer is in the ballpark. Just like when we were all in math class when we were young and our teachers taught us estimation. And we said, why do we need estimation when we could just figure out the problem? Well, you need to know if your answer to the problem is in the ballpark of reality. Because if you thought it was going to be on the order of thousands and you got something on the order of millions, you wouldn't know that you were off unless you had some of that basic education. So let's make sure that we're doing that. We also need to make sure that we're doing skills anticipation and foresight. So we always sort of think we know what skills are needed, and in fact, we don't do a good job globally. We're training people for the last jobs. So it's this foresight to know what direction we think it's going, but foresight also lets you know how to pivot. What are the likely several pathways, and how do we get ready for that? So it's working with technology. It's how to phrase the questions to AI, but it's making sure that we have all this, in the past years, it's been girls who code and coding. Now AI is doing a lot of the coding, but how do we train AI to do the coding that we want? So these are the kind of skills that are needed. And then from the ILO's approach, make sure that we're viewing this as not just a narrow technical problem, but in concert with employment policy, education policy, decent work, social protections, all of these things that make a job a nice place to be. I really liked what Jacqueline was saying, is that AI has to be used to make work better and more enjoyable for people. So we're looking at all of these things. And one other thing, as we're investing in the right skills, training and education, upskilling, reskilling, all of that, we have to invest in closing the digital divide. Today, there are still 2.6 billion people on the planet that don't have access to the internet. 2.6 billion. It's about a third of all the people. So, and it's not just connectivity, but it's investing in electrical infrastructure. How are we getting it? Is it more solar? Whatever the answer is for the community, for the country, we have to make sure people can charge the things that they want to use the internet on. Then they can get on the internet. And then micro, small, and medium enterprises, workers, communities can all benefit from the productivity gains of AI. So I'll stop there. So
yeah, that's a comprehensive answer. And actually, one thing I pick up on that, because we were talking with colleagues earlier, is the G20 does a lot of discussions, and it's been over several years on terms of women empowerment. And if your data is showing that it's women who are actually going to be somewhat more impacted, I think this is an issue that the G20 should be considering in terms of their discussions around women's empowerment. I just want to ask you a second question, if you'd like, because there was a lot of, in the speeches this evening, we had a lot of issues raised around governance. And I think in relation to AI, social dialogue, what is the role of social dialogue in determining the governance of artificial intelligence, and even digitalization more broadly in terms of robots and whatever? So do you see as the role of social dialogue?
It's critical. We can't get this right without it, because AI deployed in the wrong way could destroy jobs, make the jobs that exist drudgery, and further inequalities, in country and globally. So social dialogue means employers, workers, and governments come together. They converse. We get what the needs are of workers, what the needs are of businesses. Answers that come out of social dialogue are grounded in the practicalities of what the needs are, and they are enduring, because they're not just imposed unilaterally by government deciding what needs to be regulated without talking to the folks that they're going to be regulating. They are grounded in the needs of the people. And so social dialogue, and that means collective bargaining, that means workplace cooperation, that means tripartite councils informing governments. all the forms of social dialogue, make it better. And we have examples. A great example of bipartite social dialogue, workers and employers, is in Hollywood. People probably paid attention to the actors' strike several years ago. And one key portion of that was AI. How is AI going to be used? And what came out of it was a negotiated settlement that employers and workers could live with that actually advances the use of AI in the creative field. And that's the kind of thing that you can do when you talk to each other and you're ready to hear the needs of others and to compromise and find enduring solutions.
Absolutely. We're at the International Organization of Employers, as you know, we're absolutely committed to social dialogue, and we do believe that the way forward in terms of integrating this technology into the workplace is through a social dialogue. So we're really the governance issue and social dialogue go hand in hand. So thank you for that. I want to now turn to our next guest, Mr. Hongren. Thank you for coming from very far away in China. And we know China is a major leader in AI. And we're interested in learning about, given your leadership at the Chinese employers, what are you seeing as AI adoption? Because I think we've had skilling, we've had governance, but how are businesses adopting AI technology in China?
Okay. Thanks, Jane.
You're welcome.
Good evening, everyone. As we all know, China is a major manufacturing country. The Chinese enterprises has paid great attention and to invest in the application and the research of AI. Their paths can be briefly summarized as follows. 1. Creating an enabling environment. The Chinese government supports the research and development of new AI technology through the integratement, the industry, academia, and research, and encourage the application of the science and the technology in enterprises. 2. Consolidating and the foundation. The 3 major communication infrastructure operators, China Mobile, China Telecom, China Unicom, have increased their investment of AI, focus on the layout of computing power infrastructure to support the training and the application of industry-specific large models. Power grids and electric power companies provide sufficient electricity to ensure the stable operation of computing power centers. 3. Building platform. Leading technology enterprises such as Baidu, Alibaba, Tencent, as well as the technological SME with core technology, have invested fund and human resources to develop the platform for computing power, growth and data, accelerating the research on general large models and the industry-specific vertical application models. 3, here I would like to share with you somewhat. Next question.
Absolutely, thank you. And I think to sort of summarize and capture what you've said, I think you have an all of society approach. I think you're really integrating all levels of society into this integration of adoption of this technology. And I think the infrastructure investment that you've made over the years and the decades has been very impressive and is paying off now, particularly for your small and medium enterprises.
Oh, okay. Here, I would like to share some insight as an application of AI. First, rapid iteration for enterprises trying to apply AI technology to improve their operation. It is not a matter of having everything figured out before taking action. Instead, after determining the direction and boundaries, they should act while adjusting. 3, people's-oriented. The application of AI technology will inevitably have an impact on employment. The shortage of high-quality employees and the replacement of low-skill employees require enterprises to respond appropriately. 3, safety first. The widespread application of AI technology will bring many unprecedented safety issues in enterprise production, operation, person safety, and the environment, which must be handled properly. These are my response to the chair's question. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And I think we're going to be at IOE, we're looking at, and I think with the ILO, it's this question of occupational safe and health and AI. I think this is a subject matter that's going to be developed, I think, further. And I think the insights coming from China will be extremely helpful in terms of the role of the impact of AI on occupational safety and health. So thank you for your inputs. Thank you. And your English is so much better than my Chinese. So thank you so much for bringing, for sharing, for making the effort. We really do appreciate all of that. Really, very, very brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So now I'm reaching our friend Kaz, Covidia. Yes, Kaz, it's your turn. And we're looking at B20, G20. You're the Sherpa for the B20. In terms of the AI policy issues arising out of the G20, what are you seeing? What are you hearing? I think I'm very heartened to hear in the speeches that it's human-centered. And how are you realizing that in the policy, the actions, the recommendations coming out in terms of ensuring that?
Okay, and thank you to the panelists, and welcome everybody to South Africa. So, B20 is about business, right? But as my co-chair said earlier, I think business appreciates and realizes that for business to be sustainable in the long term, and we need to take a long-term approach towards business as we do to many things in the world today. That business can only be sustainable if we don't leave people behind. And if people don't have a stake in economies, don't have stake in businesses that we actually grow, in different ways. Those businesses aren't sustainable because you're not creating a market for yourself. And I think AI needs to be looked at in the same way. That obviously at the center of AI is innovation. But it also needs to look at how societies work, how societies learn, and how societies need to grow. And AI needs to enable those things. Okay? If AI does not enable those things, then we don't actually have a positive and progressive approach towards AI, and does not assist, certainly, business growth and business development in the long term. I think that we are in the task forces wrestling not just about technology, but about people. And a number of people here have said that people need to be at the center of this. It's not easy. To a certain extent, this thing has already run away with us. But if we don't actually begin to grapple with that, it doesn't just run away with us, it canters away from us. Okay? And it's AI not about replacing people, but it's about enhancing human potential and enabling a digital future that actually includes all of them. And you talked about the 2.6 billion people that don't have connectivity at the moment. If we don't actually take those people with us, then AI becomes the preserve of a very small few in this world. And I think Tulisi talked about how it can be used as a weapon against humanity. And all we do is we perpetuate that. So let me just quickly talk about what the task forces are coming about. We're looking at a number of cross-cutting issues across task forces, and AI is obviously one of them. So let me just use what 3 task forces are coming out of. So the Digital Transformation Task Force, we're going to be talking about a digital future for everybody, and it starts with people, not just platforms, and how we actually balance the two. Secondly, infrastructure like roads, like water, and internet access are critical to connectivity and critical to AI. Okay, if AI is going to be for the people. That we need to champion digital skills, starting at schools and all the way through retraining workers to actually grasp AI and grasp digital skills. In the Employment and Education Task Force, we're looking at the real implications of AI displacement versus opportunity. And while there will be displacement, we certainly believe that that's great opportunity if we handle this properly. That we encourage scalable policies rooted in dignity and inequality. Okay? And we need that in our world today. It's going the other way, and we need this today. Then in the Integrity and Compliance Task Force, and Rueda is here chairing that task force, is looking at governance, AI ethics, trust, and safeguards to anticipate negatives, not after the negatives happen. Okay, and so even though the train has left the station, we need to be creative about how we're going to anticipate, not, and I hate this term because people use it all the time, unintended consequences. We know the negative this thing can create. It's not unintended, can create. We need to anticipate those, and we need to guard against those. So those are the sort of critical messages that are coming out. And we're absolutely clear that we need to push that, we need to position that, and work with stakeholders and social partners to actually enable that.
Well, thank you, and I'm reassured as the mother of 3 children that the people-centered element of this technology and the development of this technology is really at the heart of the G20 and the B20 dialogues happening. And I'm looking forward to see how that you take that forward into the upcoming G20s in the next couple of years, because I do think sometimes the people element does get overlooked and overwhelmed. So I think that's an important takeaway. And if there's the most important takeaway from this gathering, it really is people are at the heart of this, and the well-being of people are at the heart of this. And I just wanted to turn, Bettina, if I could give you for 2 minutes of talking, because I wanted to come back. Bettina Schaller is from Adecco. She's from the private sector, the world recruitment, and the human resource element. I wanted to just briefly ask you a question about the question of privacy and data, and the privacy for the staffing and for the employment and for employees. So if I could pass you quickly, and I'm going to give you my seat. I'm going to give you my seat.
Incredible.
Yes, I'm giving you my seat, and I'll go move. You take over.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and I'll go over here.
Thank you for this opportunity. No, indeed, at the Adecco Group, and I've had the pleasure of being involved in the Business 20 process for many years as a member of the Employment and Education Task Force, indeed. Also in my capacity as president of the World Employment Confederation, which is the private employment services voice in the advocacy space. And when you think about AI, it's fascinating if I look at the work of the task force over the past years, of course, because I think, 3-4 years ago, we talked about it a little bit. I was at the labor ministers meeting in Indore 2 years ago. We weren't talking about the need for AI skilling the way we do today. And this is absolutely key because for the private sector, this quick evolution is one that, of course, we're grappling with as well. And if I may, I'd love to actually focus on the AI skilling piece, because for us, next to security and next to the ethical aspects, this is what is going to make or break business and productivity. So the question around how do we make sure that we upskill our own people, but then also how do we make sure that we leave nobody behind, is absolutely fundamental to any business strategy out there. And so at the Adecco Group, we see, of course, that out there today, there are hundreds of actually free courses. Again, compared to 6 months ago, when the industry of education, and we are the task force on education and employment, of course, is for a payment fee offering opportunities on AI skilling. Where we stand today is that most of the AI skilling options are actually for free. Tech companies are offering them for free. This is very recent. If you look, about a month ago, OpenAI announced, all the tech companies announced it. And if I bring it back to business, the challenge we have these days is to actually assess where does the quality lie. And one thing I literally only just learned myself this week, I chair the Responsible AI Committee of the Adecco Group. What I've learned is we need to start watching out for the quality of those AI skilling courses. Has anybody of you heard of vibe coding? Like there's a vibe, you know? It's a cool vibe. Well, vibe coding is literally AI used to generate code based on LLMs. And you see, I have to read it. What it means is there's companies now that punch into ChatGPT, well, create a training for me that is going to educate, and then you can decide who the stakeholder group is. There's no human involved in that. And they're already out there then either selling or offering for free what this AI skilling solution is. So again, for employers, we're going to have to think about, with that offer out there, does it make sense for us to use it or not? Maybe a few words. Again, with the employment and recruitment industry, you give me the microphone, it's very dangerous.
Yeah. 2 minutes.
2 minutes, 1 minute.
Dinner.
We, of course, we want to make sure that, we focus on training the recruiters clearly, and that's where the ethical and the privacy side of things comes in. But it's this leaving no one behind, which is very important for us as well. So the companies in this sector are acutely focused on making sure to build and be part of those offering AI skilling solutions for everybody out there. And lastly, and here I speak on behalf of the Adecco Group, we're actually the ones building the solutions for certain governments. So the Adecco Group is working notably with Montenegro, with Bahrain, with Singapore. Singapore was mentioned today. Well, it's companies like ours who are building those AI skilling solutions for the public sector. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I think what we have, and just to conclude, thank you everyone. I know you're very hungry. I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you for all of these inputs. We believe that building AI fluency and literacy is key to the future. And so we're calling upon everyone to really learn yourselves about the technology and also to keep people at the center of the policies going forward. Thank you everyone, and bon appétit. Bon appétit. Thank you.
Thank you, Jean. Thank you. Thanks to all our speakers.